So ideally, majority of us are expected to peak in either one of these three stages. The first stage in life is when you are a teenager, and during this stage, majority of your peaking is considered puberty. Like you get a deep voice, you somehow grow taller, different parts of your body develop. So a lot of us peak during that age. When we're teens, we are popular because of those features. And if you don't peak during that stage, then it is expected of you that you're going to peak during the next stage, which is now in college, your early 20s. Those of us who are not so self-aware, not so vocal and popular during our teenage years probably peaked during college and campus days. And if you did not happen to peak during that stage, worry not, because society expects that you are going to peak post-graduation. Somehow you're going to miraculously land this amazing job or this amazing scholarship to go and do your master's. There's just so much pressure to peak in these three stages, and unfortunately for most of us, like we are late bloomers. This video. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Love. I make faith-based lifestyle and a bit of self-development content, so if that's your kind of thing, please make sure that you subscribe. Oh god. I think we should start off by defining what characterizes a peak season, so that you can be able to know when you peaked, or are you a late bloomer, are you just about to peak. Whatever it is, we're going to define it. So the first characteristic of a peak season for me is stability. Whether that be physical stability, emotional stability, financial stability, safety in whatever sense that you require it, I think that for you to be in your peak season, you need to be very stable in one way or another. And that is how I know for a fact that I did not peak as a teenager, because one of the things that was gravely lacking in my teenagehood was physical stability. From around the age of 9, my parents were traveling all over the world, so I kind of grew up in so many cities, in so many places, learning so many different cultures and languages, and let me tell you, Mina, it was not easy to peak. Not saying that is a bad thing in any way. I think it worked out for me in the end, but I'm certain that I did not have the stability to peak as a teenager. The second characteristic of peak seasons is balance. Now, the tricky thing about peaking is that it is a science, guys. It is our math to it. The math needs to math for you to be able to peak. And I'm saying that because oftentimes stability precedes balance for you to be able to peak. So you need that, stability to now balance the act of being yourself, of self-awareness, of self-development, of spiritual development. And so you find that for me especially, I finally settled down in Kenya to do my undergrad. I did not peak during my college years, I'm certain of that. So for example, if I was doing very good in my studies, I was doing horribly in my social life. If I was thriving in my social life, I would often find that I am struggling in my academic life. And so I find that stage for me, it may not be everyone's testimony. Some people definitely peaked in college, but I was not one of those people. There was so much going on and there was a lot of imbalance, and I don't mind it. I think it was good because I got to juggle a lot of things at the same time, fail and succeed at others, and I just know for a fact I did not peak in that season. So the third characteristic is understanding that is grounded on values. The third stage in which you're expected to peak is all your life. For example, in my case, I had been told, stay away from boys. We don't want to see you hugging boys. I graduate university. I'm like struggling to look for a job and stuff like that. And the first question everybody asks you is, you don't have a boyfriend? At this stage, I'm like, I think I was 3 years single, and I'm like, who has the time to find? I'm looking for a job. Like, when will I look for a boyfriend? So you find that there was this pressure at that time to get married, to do your master's quickly, to buy land, mortgage a house, and just settle and peak. And I was not one of those people that peaked. In fact, I was struggling for like 2 years to get formal permanent employment, and I remember I did not peak because I lacked that self-understanding, that understanding based on values. simply because my values were deeply rooted in my parents and my family and my church and what I had been taught all my life. And so you find that a lot of us do not peak in this stage because all your life you've been told what to do, what to study, where to live, what to wear, who to talk to, who not to talk to. And for the first time, you have autonomy to kind of decide what you want to be and do with yourself. And it takes time. It takes a bit of time to kind of understand what you're going to do with your life. So I definitely do not peak in that stage because I had no understanding of self. When I look back at the version of me in 2020, 2021, I don't know that girl at all. 2019, I do not know who that girl is. She didn't even know herself. She didn't even know the capacity that lies within her. And now when I look back, some of the things that fascinated me, some of the things that I found very valuable are very useless to me right now. I definitely know for a fact the lack of clear understanding that was grounded in personal values that I coined from what I had been taught by my family and what I had decided with myself and with God. I definitely know I did not have that. So all these three characteristics are what have let me know that I am in my peak season. And I just want to encourage someone out there who thinks that, they don't have their life together, like it's too late, it's not happening for them. Whether you're 30 or you're in your late 20s like me, there's a blessing about being a late bloomer. And the blessing is in that you have so much time to practice being yourself, to fail at the right things, and to succeed at the right things, and to try. So all that experience you have garnered over the years is what's going to set you up to bloom correctly. So don't worry if you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you're not dating, if you're not right now, the kind of marriage I envision to have is definitely not what I envisioned 2 years ago. Even the kind of person I would date now is not the person I would have dated 4 or 5 years ago. So that tells you that there's always time to refine your art of self-awareness, in your art of self-development. So this is just to encourage you out there that you don't have to peak as a teen. You do not have to peak as in your early 20s as a college student. You don't have to peak after college. I know everyone is getting married. It's okay, attend the weddings. I know everyone has this fantastic story about what they're doing with their lives. Don't panic. There is a beauty in self-discovery the slow way, because let me tell you something right now. Right now, the kind of stability that I have is not superficial. It's not based on a job. Thank God I've got a job. But before, I used to feel like my stability would come from financial sources. It doesn't come from my money. I love my job. I love being able to afford a living, but that's not what keeps me grounded. That's not what lets me sleep well at night. And I'm sleeping good. When I tell you I struggled with insomnia in my post-grad era, I was not sleeping. I was having nightmares, guys. But now, I'm not even earning as much as I would wish to be earning, but I am content and I'm stable because my stability is not superficial. It is very grounded in the right things, because I've had enough time to put my hope in the wrong things and to realize that that's not it. Looks are not it. Validation from people, from men, from external sources, that's not going to keep you grounded. I am reminded of this scripture in Psalm 125 that says that those who trust in the Lord, they will be like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, the Lord surrounds those who trust in Him. That's how I feel right now as a late bloomer in my late 20s. I feel so surrounded by God that I don't worry too much like the way I used to worry when I was younger. So I'm enjoying peaking at this age because I have a stability that is not superficial. The second thing is balance. Because I've had so much time to be out of balance, I now know what it takes to be me and to run my life. So I can always tell when I'm out of balance. I struggle to maintain a work-life balance. I have routines for that. I have routines for my self-care, routines for my spiritual balance. I just have had time that now I cannot be out of balance for so long, even when I make mistakes, because I still make a lot of mistakes along the way. Not to get back, because I know this is the road to balance. This is the route to, you know, some kind of stability and groundedness. So I need to just go back to my routine. And how do I know that? Because I've had time to practice these routines. And the third thing that I'm super eternally grateful for as a late bloomer is I have clear understanding of my values, clear understanding of self. I have a clear understanding of what it takes to make me happy, a clear understanding of the kind of person I would date and the person I would not date, a very clear understanding on what it is I've been put on this earth to do. I may not know all the steps that I need to take. I may not know what tomorrow holds. I have a clear understanding that this is what I value. I value creativity. I value innovation. So in one way or another, I will be innovating 5 years to come, 10 years to come, 30 years to come. You know, I value family. I have a sense of self in terms of even how I spend my time. I could spend a lot of time doing things that were not of value to me. But right now, time is so valuable. I wake up and I know what to do. Even if it's, like I said, even if I'm off duty, I'm not working, I'm on leave, I still have things to do with my life because I understand what I find valuable and I invest in those things. So a late bloomer, one of the blessings that you will have if you do not wed early, if you do not get children early, if you do not, like if you don't peak at any of those other stages, you'll be so grateful that you spent time trying to figure out what it is you value. It's a blessing and a curse to be a late bloomer. Take advantage of the time that you have. Take advantage of the people around you that are failing, okay? And learn from their mistakes. Glow up, pole pole too. And like I said, peaking there's a science, okay? It's a science. And one of the things about it is that it's very gradual. Even for the person who peaks as a teenager, there's some things that they did in their early years that helped them to peak. The person who peaked in their 20s, the reason they didn't peak in their teens is because they were doing some things that allowed them to peak in their 20s, and so on and so forth. So there's a gradual progression towards a peak that you need to master. And the thing about it is that it's very personalized. So you have to curate that momentum. You have to grow in that momentum at a very personal rate. The last and final blessing about being a late bloomer is that you are able to sustain the bloom. You're able to sustain the momentum of peaking. Because right now, with the kind of stability that I've cultivated spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and all that, I'm so grounded that I'm now able to focus on maintaining balance. As I maintain balance, it's easy for me because I have my values cut out. So you kind of like pick up a pace that is easy to maintain over the years. Count it a blessing that you have not yet bloomed, that you've not yet peaked, because you can peak at any time. Don't listen to society. You can bloom at any rate, any stage. Pick up momentum wherever you are. You're never too late to figure out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. So hope this video has helped. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please let me know in the comments. Do you think you're in your peak season? What are some of the characteristics that you have witnessed that have let you know that you're peaking? And if not, what are you doing towards building that momentum? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.